Hello and welcome to the Knitwhim podcast. I am Knitwhim, also known as Lindsay, and you can find me as Knitwhim on Ravelry or on my blog at arcaneknits.blogspot.com. Hello, how have you been? It's been 2 weeks. I know I said I was going to have lots of interesting stuff to say and I was going to start blogging every week, but that did not happen. I'm finally getting the hang of working nights. I sleep until 5 p.m., get up, do stuff until 7 in the morning. It's weird, but it also means that it's always dark out, and I haven't gotten into the whole swing of recording in the dark. So it's Sunday the 20th, and it's 9 p.m. My husband is watching Sunday football. So yeah, let's get right into finished objects. Nerd Wars Tournament 9 is in full swing, and I have been pumping out the finished objects for Nerd Wars. I finished the baby giraffe hat that I showed last episode, and it has already been given to its recipient, so I cannot show it to you. But that was for the encyclopedia entry, subject zoo. And you're supposed to knit something that reminded you of a trip to the zoo that you had went on. So I did the giraffe hat because my husband and I recently did go to the zoo, and we got to see a lot of baby giraffes at the Wild Animal Park in San Diego. So that was pretty cool. And the next hat that I've done is the Rike hat, and I did it for the Discovery category, Going Stratospheric. You're supposed to do something about the atmosphere. Here it is. Ta-da! And so I said that the colors of this hat reminded me of a stormy sky, and I posted a picture, and to tie in with the Team Unity, I linked the stormy sky with the stormiest sky over Bad Wolf Bay. In Doctor Who, Bad Wolf was this whole plot line that happened with the 10th Doctor and Rose, and Rose was the Bad Wolf. And so we have a Team Unity project that's a crossover with Team Iron Throne, and it's Bad Wolf / Dire Wolf. And so this was also my Team Unity entry with the House of Stark. They wear a lot of blue, and they also wear a lot of wolf pelts, and so I thought that this hat sort of swirled those colors together, and so that was my Team Unity entry. And for flexible schedule, I don't even know where I put it. For Flex Schedule, I had 2 projects, because Flex Schedule is the only one where you can use works in progress from previous months as a part of the challenge, but they're only worth half points, so you have to do 2 for the full points. And the first one that I did was I finished the Los Lirios mystery cowl that I started in September, and that was part 1 of my Flex Schedule, and I completely forgot to grab it, so I can't show that to you on my blog. And then the second part was this spinning project, which I actually started in October and finished in October. And this was the project that I entered in 2 different spin-alongs. Because the fiber was a birthday present last year that I was saving to spin on my wheel, I entered it in Fat Squirrel's Squirreled It Away spin-along, and then I also entered it in Malia's New to You spin-along from the Yarn Raising podcast. And my lighting is like, I got this lamp and I'm trying to work out whatever. So it's I'm really loving it. As you can see, I wound it wrong on the Nitty Naughty, so I have all these random strands. But it's I'm really happy with this yarn a lot. I split it in half in an attempt to do like a preserve the color changes in a 2-ply yarn instead of in a chain ply, and I got like a lot of places where I did that and I got solid colors. But then because my spinning was inconsistent and one bobbin was thinner than the other, that meant that the color repeats were longer on one bobbin than the other. So I did also get these like rubber pulley bits, but I think that they're going to work out nicely knitted up. And this is between 26 to 30 wraps per inch, so I think it falls nicely into the lace weight category. So actually I do have some lace weight, some commercial lace weight right here. You can kind of compare them. The one on top is the commercial lace weight, and the one below is my spinning. Makes me happy. And this is 700 yards. So I could totally make a shawlette with this. So I'm super happy. Yeah, the thing with this though is that I really need to get a DVD of like different drafting techniques, because whatever, like when I was doing the Max Lockton 8 ounces worsted weight, I didn't have any pain while I was spinning. And the way I draft, I'll just show you with a piece of fiber. The way I draft is I hold the fiber in my right hand, and then I'm drafting with this hand, and I'm just pinching and pulling it forward, and pinching and pulling it forward with my left hand. And for some reason, like some combination of just making it thinner and having it on the fast whirl, which you have to do this motion like super fast in order to keep up with the fast whirl, I was getting like this splitting pain, like starting from here, and it would just like go right up to my elbow. And when I would stop spinning or stop knitting, if I just bent even just like this much, bent my hand, it would just be like blinding pain, like burning all up my arm. So I had to take a couple of days off where I didn't knit or spin at all. And then I've been trying, like I posted about it on the Yarn Raising podcast, and I got a lot of good feedback about, you should watch this DVD about different ways of drafting. Like maybe there's a way that you could draft this way, but in a more ergonomic way that won't hurt your hand. And I haven't had time. I can do a lot of stuff at work online, but I can't watch YouTube videos or access a lot of stuff like that. So, and when I get home, I sleep until 5, and then I go back to work. So I haven't had time to get the video. I think I want to get Abby's video on drafting, because I think a lot of people recommended that one. But I figured on my own, one thing I do know is long draw I could do with my left hand, because I'm doing long draw with my drop spindle with my cotton. And so I tried 2 different ways of doing long draw. I tried to just do long draw straight from the roving and just hold it like this and do that. And obviously that didn't work out so well, because this is not really prepped for long draw. And then I tried to fold it over my finger and do the long draw like this way from the fold. And I was having, like, it would work for like a couple of minutes, and then like something back here would get caught up and it would snarl, and it wouldn't draft in the order I wanted, and I would just end up with this wad of thick. Also, I thought this was a 4 ounce thing with BFL. This is some of the yarn that came with my spinning wheel, and this is BFL, but it's the softest, most light and airy, wonderful, delicious BFL I've ever spun with. But I thought it was 4 ounces, and I was like, oh, well, just a little scrap 4 ounces that I could practice fake long draw with. And it's not, it's 8 ounces. It's like, oh no. So I'm probably I'm failing at the long draw. It's not working. So I'm probably gonna take that bobbin off and just store it and spin something else until I can get the DVD and watch it, and then come back to this. The reason I was practicing that is because there's another spin along from, it's October through December spin along. Is that right? Spin along, I think that's right. And it's with I'm gonna get the name wrong of the group. Completely Twisted and Arbitrary? Totally Twisted and Arbitrary? Something like that. They do artist spotlight, where they pick a fiber artist to dye a custom colorway, and then everyone buys that colorway and spins it for the 3-month spin along. And this month's artist is Gail's Art, and her stuff is beautiful. I might have mentioned when I did the Atlanta shop hop, one of the stores, a whole 9 yards, actually carried Gale's Art fiber, and I got to touch it, and I didn't buy any because I already knew I had already ordered Gale's Art on Etsy, but I got to touch it and I was like, oh my god, I'm so glad I bought that. And this is there are 2 colorway options for this month. One was Brave, which was blues and reds and oranges, and this is Sherlock, which is the one I got. And this is 100% organic Polworth, and I haven't spun it yet, but it might be my favorite fiber so far that I've spun. I haven't spun a whole lot of fibers. I've spun a lot of different BFL, and like I said, like, this is BFL, and it's great. I love this. This is wonderful BFL. But this is like 10 times softer, and it's also BFL. This is like as soft as the softer BFL, but it's also got that squishiness that the Manx, and like it's thicker and squishier than the BFL, and then like squishier than like the merino would be. Like, it's the individual hairs are thicker. I think I'm gonna really love this. I wish I were confident enough in my spinning to do this as a 3-ply fingering weight and knit socks with this, because I feel like they would be the most amazing cushy socks. But I know 4 ounces is kind of pushing it for socks, and people can do it, but it's pushing it, so I might just be lazy and do a worsted weight and make a hat. Like, I'm liking the 3-plies better, but in this instance, since it's colored like this, in order to get a 3-ply, I would have to chain ply it rather than do the traditional. So I think I might do that. Or I could just be okay with barber pulling and split it into 3. Or I could, what I really like traditional, like the way the traditional 3-ply feels over the way the chain ply feels and looks. So if I wanted to be really brave, probably won't do this. I'll probably just spin it normal and chain ply it. But I could try to take this whole braid and split it into 3 even pieces. But that seems like doomed to failure, because how do you split that evenly into 3s? Like, that just seems like it would not, like, look at that, there's no way I could evenly split that, right? So I'll probably just chain ply it, because that would be the easiest. But kind of now that I'm saying that, I'm kind of obsessed with the idea of splitting this in 3 evenly. That looks kind of even, right? Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll split it in 3 even pieces all the way down the whole length, spin them on 3 different bobbins, and ply them traditionally, because that's what I like. But yeah, I want it to be a little bit less thin than my lace weight, but thinner than my worsted weight singles were. So I have to, like, that's the one sad thing, is I don't have any leftover singles from the worsted weight. I just have this. Oh wait, maybe that's a lie. Oh, that is a lie. This is a worsted weight single from my Manx. So I can I'll tie this to my wheel, and I'll be like, this is my guide for spinning the Polworth, as I want it to be thinner than this, but thicker than my lace single that I got for this yarn. And I have a lace single over there, but I'm not going to go reach for it. So yeah, so that'll be my goal for that spin along. But because of the, like, epic pain in my wrist, and the fact that realistically I'm not going to have time to look at that DVD on different drafting techniques anytime soon, I'm just giving myself a spinning break, and I've decided I'm going to wait until November to start spinning this, because the spin along goes through until December, and I'm pretty confident that I can do 4 ounces in a month. Like, I did 4 ounces of lace weight in a month, so I can do 4 ounces of fingering weight in a month, no problem. So I'm going to wait until November to start spinning that and give my wrist a bit of a break. And then, so still in finished objects, somehow I got on to future spinning projects. I don't know how that happened. I have one more finished object, and this pattern is the Good Time mitts, and it's a really awesome pattern. This is the third time I've knit it. They're by Melissa Woods. I love this pattern so much. It's very simple, basic worsted weight mitten, or fingerless mitten, but they're so form-fitting and perfect. And the other two pairs that I did in Patton's wool, and I also didn't do to gauge, and so they were looser than this, because I was like, 7 stitches to an inch? You must be joking. And so they were looser and like floppier. This one I got gauge on. The gauge is 7 stitches to an inch in worsted weight, which seems a little severe for worsted weight, but it makes this great. It feels really secure and nice. And this is the Lion Brand Homestyle acrylic. So it's part of my acrylic swatch project that I'm doing that I don't think I've told you about. I'll talk about it some other day. So I don't know. I really like the pattern. It's form-fitting. It's perfect for worsted weight gloves. It's simple. It's fast. Obviously, I just did the thumbs before starting recording, so I haven't woven in any of the ends. But this is for the last knitting challenge for round 1 of Nerd Wars, which is nerdology. Subject, what the heck is a LARP? And so the challenge was to knit something that you would either use for LARPing, or that was inspired from a character that you would want to LARP, or as part of a cosplay or something along those lines. So these are actually, there are 2. These are for my sister, Melody. She is being Princess Sinedra for Halloween. And Princess Sinedra is a character from one of our all-time favorite book series, The Belgrade by David Eddings. And she's a princess with fiery red hair, and she's also a dryad. And dryads appear in a lot of different roleplay fantasy type games and books. They're tree spirits. In this particular book, each dryad has their own tree that they're connected to, and they live as long as their tree lives. So like if the tree gets cut down or something, then they die, but otherwise they're almost immortal. And so she wears a lot of green, and she associates with green because she's an earth elemental, so hence the green mittens. And she's pretty much kidnapped from her city, and she goes on this epic adventure with a group. And so they're on the road all the time, and like traveling through snow and sledge. So she would definitely need a pair of mittens to stay warm, traveling in like cloth covered wagons and stuff like that. So that, I think, is the easiest challenge I've done so far this tournament. And the team tie-in will also be super easy because Sinedra is a fiery redhead. She raises an entire army in order to help her friends with their mission, and she's just a perfect tie-in with Amy Pond, who also is a redhead who's tenacious and fights many battles to save her friends and to protect the Doctor. So I think it's perfect. I haven't posted this yet because I need to weave in the ends before I post it. But that'll be my last. Sorry, that's it. That's my last of the challenges for Nerd Wars. There are 5 challenges. And if you're keeping track, I've only mentioned 4 finished challenge objects. That's because the 5th challenge is giving geeks, and you can knit something and donate it to charity, but you can also just donate cash monies. And that's what I'm going to do. And I actually haven't decided what I'm going to donate to yet, because honestly, donating to giant charity companies kind of freaks me out. But you have to have proof that you donated, and it's hard to get proof from like small time places. So I haven't figured out where I'm going to donate yet, but I'm going to do research this week, and I have 2 weeks to figure it out, so I'm not worried. So yeah, those are, take a deep breath, those are my works in progress, and also my random future spinning project that got thrown in there. Next up is, those were my finished objects. Next up is works in progress. Oh my god, I've been awake for 4 hours and I still feel like I just woke up. It might be a hangover, I don't know. We had game night yesterday, and that's like a whole thing. I'll talk about game night at the end of the show, maybe. It was a lot of fun, but I'm still like recovering. So, works in progress. the first one, works in progress, is my dissertation project. I'm not technically behind, but I felt my goal was to do 17 granny squares for my dissertation project this month. And so far, I only have 10 partial squares. So I'll show you what I mean. This is what the complete square looks like. There's a flower, and then there's a white border, and they're all supposed to have this white border. My dissertation is a garden in time. It's the Something Pretty blanket by Millie Makes, and I'm doing it in Hobby Lobby. I love this cotton, in a bunch of awesome retro colors. So this is what the square is supposed to look. And I have this one, and then I have 9 flowers without the edging. And the edging takes like 5 minutes to do. So I have 9 of these in various colors. So my colorways are oranges and yellows. So I have the orange, which I kind of want there to be less of the bright orange than the other colors. Then I have this buttery yellow and a sunshine yellow. And then I have this color, I thought it was yellow when I bought it, but it's actually ivory, so I'm not sure how that's going to go with the white edging. So yeah, I need to do 7 more flowers and then edge them all to be on schedule, and I think I can do that in 2 weeks. Especially if I take them to work with me. And it'll also be a nice break between spinning and knitting, because the crochet movement uses this wrist, and it'll give this wrist more of a break before I go back into hardcore knitting. And with that in mind also, I definitely want to go lighter on the knitting for round 2 of Nerd Wars, because this round I did 2 hats, I did a lace shawl, and I did the mittens and the spinning project. And next round I want to have a lot more of a casual, like more chill knitting. And so I'm just doing, for flex schedule, I do have 2 things that I'm knitting for flex schedule. These are the infamous Renegade mitts. I just have to do a little bit more of this seed stitch and then do a buttonhole and bind off, and then do the thumb, and I'll be done with this one. So I'm hoping to actually finish this mitt and start the second one before November even starts, and so then I'll just have like half of the second one because you only need 2 hours worth of knitting left at the beginning of the round in order for it to count as flex. So I want to get as much of this done these next 2 weeks so that I'm ready to go for flex schedule. So this is part 1 of flex schedule, and hopefully this will be almost done. And then the second one that I want to do for flex schedule, and if I don't finish it, I'm just going to live with only getting half credit, because I'll definitely finish these because these are quick and easy. But I want to also hopefully maybe do the second mitten from my end paper mitts, because I started this in like 2012. This is a finished mitt, and this is what I have done of the second one, which is just not even an inch of ribbing. It's like pathetic and sad. So I definitely want to have finished the ribbing and started, That's me realizing that all of these stitches are live stitches that just came off the needle, and I'm probably going to have to completely do the cast on over again, because this is the Brooklyn Tweed Loft, and it's I love this yarn, but it definitely felts on itself a lot, and I don't know, I might be able to pick up all these stitches. Anyway, I do want to at the very least finish the ribbing and starting on the color work before November, just to make sure that it's correct, because like I've got this huge gap where the join is. I haven't touched these in months. And I'm always worried, the biggest problem I have with doing mittens with so much time in between is that my gauge changes. So I want to be able to make sure that my gauge is going to be at least mostly the same as this one, because this one was kind of perfect. And I know the ribbing is in like double zeros or something, but the main body of the mitten is done on 2s for this one. So hopefully I'll be able to do them on 2s again with the same gauge, or switch down to 1s, because usually my gauge loosens between mittens. So those hopefully will be my flex schedule mittens. And then obviously I won't know exactly which projects I'm going to do for the rest of round 2 until I see what the challenges are, because they give you the challenge and then you find a project that fits with it. But I have some ideas in mind, and specifically I want to do smaller, less intense projects. And so one of my main goals is to do a lot of Christmas tree decorations as challenges for round 2. This is my first year doing Christmas in my own house that I own, and my first year doing Christmas with my husband, because we just got married in May, and so we don't have any Christmas decorations right now, except we did go to Hobby Lobby and buy Christmas stockings one day because we were bored. But other than that, and I know I could knit Christmas stockings, but whatever, we were bored. And the ones he picked out looked like hand-knit Christmas stockings. Whatever. That's all we have, Christmas decoration-wise, and I don't really want to spend a whole lot of money. Like, Christmas decorations, like the really nice ones, are like $8 for 1 ornament, or like $10 for 4 little balls. It's ridiculous. So I don't want to spend a whole lot of money on Christmas decorations, and so I want to knit a whole bunch of decorations out of my scrap yarn. And so I have I have leftover white yarn from a baby blanket I did like a year and a half ago for Jean. Hi, Jean. Or maybe longer. Oh, crap. Anyway, scrap baby blanket yarn that's white, and so I want to knit a bunch of stars out of that. And I have all these patterns on my queue marked Nerd Wars. So it's the pattern I'm going to use looks like some kind of Russian-ish name. I don't know, I can't read it. But it's by Carolina Eckerdal. This is why I usually don't tell you who does the patterns, because I can't read. That's really cute. And then I have like 3 different patterns for mini sweater ornaments. And the one on my queue, well, at the top of my queue, is by Emily 5446. And there are a couple of different miniature sweater patterns that I have in my queue. And so I have a bunch of leftover sock weight yarn that I want to do with that. Especially I have a lot of red acrylic sock weight yarn, that shiny red, that would be perfect for Christmas decoration sweaters. And so hopefully those will count as 2 different challenges, and I'll probably do like 2 or 3 each for each challenge. So like knit 3 stars for one challenge, and like knit 3 sweaters for another challenge or something, because they're small, but I don't want to just do one, because so I'll do a couple. So those are ideas for 2 of the 4 knitted challenges, because I'll probably just donate again money for the 5th. Sorry, I'm making the laptop shake. And so for challenge number 3, I'm really hoping to do a lace shawl, and I have multiple lace shawls in my queue, and I happened to notice by accident a couple of weeks ago that the majority of them are all by the same designer, Boo Knits, and I had no idea that all these shawls that I was favoriting and putting on my queue were by the same person. And I just it was like, oh, well, no wonder I like them all. She is awesome designer, Boo Knits, and I just love her stuff. And I'm not like, all the shawls are so pretty. I don't know which one I want to knit first, but I got this lace yarn during the shop hop. This is Dream in Color Wisp, and the colorway is Shy, which I think is clever. I love it when yarns have cool colorway names rather than just being a colorway number. So I picked which lace shawl I was going to knit based on the color of the lace. Like, which shawl do I think will look the best in this? And it's not really striping. Like, it's got like color changes, but they're too short to create stripes. So hopefully it just makes a blended pink color and it doesn't pool. But I'm doing the Ictus shawl, which has like a stripey element in the lace. So it'll have like a stripe of like yarn over pretty design, and then it'll have a stripe of stockinette and then more yarn overs. And so I think it'll hide the pooling or make it look pretty. I'm really looking forward to doing that pattern with this yarn. And I'm actually thinking I might do it a second time with this yarn. But not for Nerd Wars, after Nerd Wars. So that is one possible idea. for a challenge. And then, oh no, the other thing I want to do is I want to knit something for myself, because so far I haven't really knit anything for myself for Nerd Wars yet, except for the dissertation project, which is going to take forever. So, I got two patterns for my birthday on Ravelry, and because Ravelry does have this really cool feature where you can gift patterns to people, like you can buy the pattern and send it to someone else. And so Jean, Cherry Coat Kisses, sent me Amy Beth's Seedling Dream hat pattern for my birthday, which was way back in September. Sorry, I forgot to say thank you on my blog sooner, but thank you. That was awesome. So I do have the yarn for that, and that I'm going to knit myself a hat as my fourth project for Nerd Wars. I just haven't decided which one. So these are the colors I have for that, and my ball winder like died on me, so I had to do this in 2 different balls. So this is, I have more of this. So this would be the Seedling Dreams hat, the browns, and like, because I love the fall colors and the orange. And then Amanda also gifted me a pattern. She gifted me the Oh Dear mitts, which, if you remember my Ultra Alpaca rant, that's what these are for. But I'm already doing color work on tiny needles for the flux schedule, so this is going to have to wait until December. So the other possibility for my fourth project would be, I want to do the Chelsea Market hat, which I already knit previously, the gray hat with the single cable in it, and I want to knit it with this. This is Malabrigo Rios, and it is, I haven't knit with it yet, but it's like my new favorite yarn. This is like crack for knitters. I love this stuff so much. It's worsted weight, it's squishy, and like the regular Malabrigo worsted weight is a single ply, but the Rios, which, I mean, single plies are squishy. This, which is Maxima, is a single ply, and it's squishy and wonderful, but it's not as strong, and so like I couldn't make mittens with this. Actually, I've made mittens with this, and it would felt if the palm of your hand would just like felt in like 3 days. So this is going to be made into a cow, and it's like, single ply worsted is awesome and delicious, but it's got limited uses. This is applied worsted, and it's my new best friend. So I'm thinking I might do this for round 2, just because the Seedling Dream hat is 2 colors, and it's got some like, it's got a new technique that I haven't learned how to do yet, and it's got, maybe I'll save that for December when I'm going to do almost no work, because December is going to be nice. I'm anticipating having a lot of free time in December, like more so than what I have right now, which is saying a lot. So this hat is like garter stitch in the round with a single cable. So you're just like knitting garter stitch, you get to the 6-stitch cable, you do that, and you keep knitting garter stitch. So it's like mindless knitting with crack yarn. So this is probably going to be my next project. So literally I'm going to knit easy Christmas decorations, a lace shawl, which most of the people on Ravelry said that they knit the Ictus shawl in 2 weeks or less. So they could be lying, but that's like the majority of the people who knit it said that they did it in that length of time. So I'm really anticipating this to be a quick lace project, unlike the Nazca Shawl, which I'm going to pull out next. So I'm anticipating this being quick and easy for lace. And on my flex schedule, hopefully, I still have 2 weeks left in this month, maybe-ish. I'm not sure what day it is right now. Maybe I only have a week left. I don't know. I still have time left in this month to like work on the flex schedule and get them closer to being done before November starts. And then I have this. And this is going to be like, this is going to take 2 days to knit. And it even smells good. It smells like sheep, but like clean. It smells like sheep and like freshly mowed grass and sunshine. My favorite smells. Anyway, I'm going to try it out. So, yes, so those are my works in progress / plans for round 2 of Nerd Wars. And then I haven't actually knit on this thing in almost a month, but now that I've just finished the Good Time Knits, which I for some reason wrapped up, now that I just finished these, the next thing that I'm going to go back to knitting is dun 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 dun, the blob of purple. I mean the Nazca Shawl. I still haven't moved the stitch marker from the last time I showed this to you. So the last time I showed this to you, this was the progress I had made, and I haven't moved the stitch marker because I haven't touched it since the last time I showed it to you. So tonight I'm going to move the stitch marker up to the top of my knitting, and I'm going to start knitting again because I'm like at the halfway point of being done on this thing. So my goal is, in addition to, like, I'm going to take my mittens to work because they're small, and I'm going to knit them at work this week, but when I'm at home I'm going to knit on the blob, and hopefully my plan is to knit this all this week, and then when round 2 starts for Nerd Wars, I'll stop knitting it and I'll just do my challenges and flex schedule, and hopefully I'll also finish all of my projects for round 2 before the end of the month, and I'll super secret work on this again for another free week at the end of November, and then this will be my flex schedule for December. So hopefully I'll be slowly, like, hopefully I will be way close to being done by the time December happens. Hopefully. That's my super secret plan. So yeah, so that's everything I have for knitting and spinning. I covered finished objects, which there were a bunch. I covered future spinning projects and my works in progress, and my plans for Nerd Wars round 2, which kind of actually premature to tell you those plans because I still have, like, I'll probably talk to you again before Nerd Wars round 2 starts. But whatever. That's kind of what I've got going on. And I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to resist the spinning. I might pull out my drop spindle and just spin cotton, because I'm already feeling the spinning withdrawals, and it's only been like 4 days since I stopped spinning, and I desperately need to spin, and my hand desperately needs to not spin. So that's going to be hard. But yeah, working nights, I'm really, like, I put myself in a bad place because I have to do a PT test this week, and they let you sign up anytime that you want, and so I wanted to do it on Monday because that's a day off, and, like, I don't have to worry about, like, getting up early and PTing and then going to work, which would suck. And the times were, like, from 7 in the morning until, like, 3 p.m. And I usually, like, when I signed up, I hadn't got my schedule together, so I would wake up at noon and, like, putter around, and then at 4 I would take, like, a 3-hour nap. And so I was like, oh, well, I'll sign up to take my test at 1 o'clock. And now that it's been a couple of weeks and I've adjusted to sleeping all day long during the daylight, I don't wake up until 5 p.m. So I'm at this place where I'm going to have to wake up tomorrow at like 11, do the PRT, hopefully pass. I'm a little worried about being able to do the number of sit-ups I need, because my back has been hurting a lot. Like, it's starting to cool down, and, like, all of my joints, like, seize up, and, like, everything hurts, because my body thinks that I'm an old woman even though I'm not. So hopefully I pass tomorrow, and I opted to do the bike. So what I have to do is I have to do push-ups and sit-ups, and then I have to do the bike, and I have 14 minutes, I believe, 14 minutes to burn 90 calories in order to get an excellent, which is, the bike is the only thing I've ever been able to get an excellent on. For push-ups, I have to get, like, I only have to get, like, 18 or something done to pass, but I usually aim for, like, 25 push-ups, and that way, I definitely pass even if I don't hit exactly 25. And then I can't even remember what I need to get for sit-ups. I should probably look that up. I know I usually aim for, like, 60, but I don't always hit that number, so I should definitely look that up. The way that the Navy PRT standards work is, they're divided based on gender and age. So in my age range, the 25 to 29 years old age range, in order to get a good, you have to get 54 curl-ups, 19 push-ups, and you have to run the 1.5 miles in 14 minutes and 53 seconds, which is what I do. And I was trying to get an excellent on the run, which would have been 13 minutes and 23 seconds. And my best time that I got like repeatedly was 13:40, which is not close enough. And I actually repeatedly hurt my knee trying to get that time, which is why I switched to the bike, because on the bike I get an excellent every time. In order to, well, I've only done it once, so fingers crossed I also get an excellent again this time. But to get an excellent for sit-ups, you have to go from 54 is a good for sit-ups, but excellent is 84, which is a huge jump. I don't think I've ever done more than like 65 sit-ups. And you have 2 minutes to do them. So it's not like, you know. And then to get an excellent in push-ups, you have to get 37 push-ups. I've actually successfully done 42 push-ups in 2 minutes before, but it was like a fluke. It was not something that I can always do on demand. So I worry because it's hard, and also because I haven't been able to do regular PT because of my crazy work schedule. Like, because of my job, they're like, we want you to do regular PT, but the regular official PT sessions are at times that I'm supposed to be at work. So they're like, if you can get permission to leave work early or come into work late, cool, come PT. But if you can't, you know, whatever, PT on your own. So the only PT I've really been doing is I try to do push-ups and sit-ups myself, but just be honest, I'm not really motivated to do push-ups and sit-ups in my own house. And I also have a yoga DVD that I've been doing, and irregular. I wish I were doing it more often. But really like doing the 30-minute yoga DVD, like I break out into sweats and like I feel tired, and it, you know, it's starting to get colder, so I'm like not cooking right, and then I'm eating a lot of pasta and cheese, which I'm definitely finding out that I'm definitely lactose intolerant, and like almost everything I've had to eat this week has had cheese in it. Like I made a quiche, which is basically just cheese and egg and a pie shell. And today my husband's like, let's order pizza, and I'm like, I shouldn't have cheese, so order me pasta, and order me the pasta with white sauce, which is dairy. So I wasn't awake when I made that decision. So I worry, just, I guess for no reason. But that's going to be fun tomorrow. And then hopefully after that, when Amanda gets off work, we're going to go back to sewing. I don't know where I put it. Woohoo! Because we are halfway done with our corsets. This is my corset. For my Halloween costume, I'm going to do a loose interpretation of Corpse Bride. And so I'm doing a white corset. And I've got the whole front done, and I only have only the center has boning in it already. And so I have to add boning to each of these seams. So 4 channels of boning on the front, and then I have to sew the back piece on, which I haven't done yet, put boning in the back, and then do the grommets because it's laced up in the back. So that's going to be fun. Hopefully that happens on Monday. Hopefully. And that's it. It's like, wow, it's like 45 minutes. And maybe I'll cut like a whole bunch of ranting out. Like, I don't know. Maybe I won't. Maybe you'll just suffer through it. So anyway, yes, thank you so much for watching my video. And hopefully you enjoyed it, or were at least mildly entertained or amused, because I definitely am mildly entertained or amused from doing this. And please like or comment my video and come back and watch again next week. Peace.